to the channel. I appreciate you guys taking time to watch. It is time to take the first steps, if you didn't already see it or figure it out, to getting the shower pan tiled. The first step, Aqua Defense. Now, this is a Mop A product that you can pick up at Lowe's. I'm sure you can pick it up at Menards. I have no idea. Or most home improvement centers. I know that Home Depot does not carry it. They carry a product called RedGuard. Primarily the same thing. It is a water barrier, a liquid water barrier that you brush on, roll on, however you decide you want to do it. One coat, first coat you want to do, you don't really want to soak it on or anything like that. You're just trying to get the basics and stuff filled up on it. It takes 30 to 50 minutes to dry depending on the temperature of the room. Second coat goes on, same process, 30 to 50 minutes dry time, and then after that you are ready to go. So also, before I go further on that, if you are wanting to flood test 12-hour drive time, 12-hour dry time to get that going for you. So if you want to flood test your area, if that's what you're going to do, 12 hours to dry, and then plug your drain, and then fill it full of water, and that should tell you if you're completely. So I'm not going to worry about that. I am confident in my abilities with what I got going on here. So we are going to get started. I'm going to pour it in. I'm going to roll it on to a certain point, and I'm just going to show you rolling on. I'm not going to go through the whole thing for you. I think it's pretty, self-evident how you're going to do this. So after that, we will get started on laying tiles in to kind of get figured out where I want to lay them, how I want to do design. I've been thinking about a border around it. I'm not sure if I'm there with that. I haven't decided if that's something I want to do or just go straight. We'll get that all figured out. But before I get started, I've got to change my shirt. Brand new Carhartt shirt. Not sponsored. But yeah, I don't want to ruin my brand new shirt just yet. So let me go jump into that, and then we'll get started on this project. Yo. Alright, so I've made a cut here on this to bring this out, and I would need a few more, but this would give me a little bit of distance to do a border edge if I want to. So I did 4 different ones. I'm almost leaning towards that one because, quite honestly, I don't know if I want to cut a bunch of mosaic tile around there. Now it would make it look a lot different with this to blend this and break it up a little bit, which I think would look cool too at the same time. But I don't know. I think I've got some work to do. I've been working on this for a little bit, so I've got these 3 cut, spaced out properly as well. You see this one's a little bit shorter than what it should be. I might have to go and trim these just a little bit, get a little bit of movement in there. But it's going to be this one and that one that's going to be the bugger. I'll have one full one here and one full one here. And basically what I did here, I'll just have to turn around and do the top here and top here, and we should be taken care of there. Alright, so what we're going to be using on the floor is what they call Levolution. It's a leveling tiling leveling system from Miracle. sealants. And basically what it is you have this little guy that's, you can get that in I believe a 16th, an 1/8, a quarter. Yeah, I think a quarter is the deepest you can go on that. I think I used a quarter, what I used on my last one, 3/64 or something like that, which is way too big. And you buy your caps for it, as well as a gun that you're going to be using, which goes down over the top, and I'll show you that in just a second. So basically what it is if you can see this right here for a second, you have these little tabs that are right here. What those are designed to do is to put a tile and a tile in a corner and then put a cap over the top of it, and that in order to quarter it, as well as you could break those tabs off, and as you can see the tabs are missing on this one, so that way you can do just the center on your tile. If you're doing, you know, square 12 by 12s or 12 by 24s or 24 by 24s or 18 by 18s, whatever, you're going to want to put one of those in the corner along with the centers. It just makes it a lot cleaner for you to do that, to get the tiles to center itself and level out. So typically what you have, and the reason why they do that, is that you might actually have a scenario where you might have a little too much mortar, or you might have a wall that's, you know, not quite 100% level out, which you're going to try to do that. And what that does is it takes this one and makes it level itself, versus having one that's kind of staggered down and it just doesn't look as clean. So basically what you'd have is something like this. And what you'll see me do when I'm tiling, is move some of the mortar out of the way. So once you have it set, it's a matter of putting it on there just like that, and taking that gun, and it clicks itself. What it does, and this may have not shown a whole lot of it, it'll keep it from moving around a lot, and also it will just bring it up so it's centered smooth straight across. And then once you're done, you can take your foot or a hammer and just knock those off, and it breaks these off. These are pretty easy to break. So it just leaves this on the ground, you grout over the top of it, and away you go. So what I'm going to use on this floor is a quarter by quarter by quarter. So quarter, basically square. Not bad for doing small tile work. You can go a little smaller, you can go a little bit bigger. I don't suggest going to like a half by half by half or something like that. I would leave the half by half by half for large format, but for this purposes here, it's going to work just fine. we are going to grout this thing. I will show you the grout that I'm going to be using, the color, and going from there. And yeah, so there you have it. It's in. I did actually go around and tap on these and knock on them, because one way you could tell is if you have like a gap in the floor or something like that when you're doing tile, is you go around and you can thud on them, and you're going to hear a solid thud or you're going to hear a hollow. You'll know it really quick. But anyway, I'll get back from what I'm doing and we'll get this all knocked out. So I am ready to grout the tile that we got laid down, or I got laid down on here. I do want to go over grout and show you some differences that I have from grout that I use to what I'm going to be using on this project. So let's just jump over there and take a look at it. Okay, Mape actually gives you several different choices. Not necessarily in the 10-pound bags, with 25-pound bags they do. This is their standard Mape unsanded grout, meaning there's no sand in the mixture. Sanded grout is great for anything like, say, now some people say 1/8 inch and up. I say 3/16 and up, and I say unsanded is great for 1/8 inch and below. This doesn't take much to really pack it into the grout lines and stuff, or space area that you have on your tile. They have a purple bag or a purplish bag, and then they have this blue bag that distinguishes sanded and unsanded. Now, I'm not sure about everywhere else, but I know Lowe's no longer carries the 10-pound bags of sanded grout. So you only have unsanded, I'll get it right, and ultracolor. Now, what you're wanting to know about this, if you've never used it, is ultracolor. This is rapid setting, meaning from the time you mix it to the time you lay it, you have 15 minutes to get that laid and get it wiped out and get it cleaned up. Otherwise, it's going to start to become a problem. If you've never done it, or you're very limited on your skill set for grouting, don't use the rapid set, because it'll cause you a lot of problems, especially if you have a big shower area. So, like, say a 5 foot wide, 3 foot by 7 foot area, and you're using really small tiles, it'll cause you some nightmares if you can't get that wiped on, or get that mixed in and get it pushed into the grout lines, the tile lines, as quickly as possible, and then let it set and then wipe it off. It'll harden up really quick on you. Now, obviously, for my project it's going to be a real small area, so unless I absolutely just fall asleep, which is a possibility because I have been pretty sleep deprived here lately, if I fall asleep and don't pay attention to it, I shouldn't have a problem with it. Plus, I've done grouting before, so I'm pretty quick on doing grouting. I really bounced between the two of them, and I decided to go this way. Mostly because this is all-in-one, so it replaces the grout, or the unsanded and sanded, and it has a mixture for sealer in it as well. So that was part of the reason why I took it. I didn't want to have to buy this, and a bottle of maximizer to do it. So that's the reason why I went this direction. So that's about the consistency I'm looking for. A little thick, not too thick. A little sloppy, not too sloppy. Alright, so one thing to keep in mind when you're doing this is when you're packing it, you can run it here, but when you're really packing it, you need to have it basically at a 45 or a 90 degree, kind of like this, when you're going across your lines. Now this is going to be a little tricky, simply because they're hexagons, so it's going to make my life a little bit more difficult trying to get this all filled in. So bear with me while we're doing this, and we'll make it happen one way or another.
I never had any alibi, no recollection of a crazy night. I threw my heart into wishing well, hoping I'd stop myself. Still hear you breaking over mountaintops, some kind of mystery that no one solves except us.
gonna let that set for a little bit, and then we'll come back and sponge that sucker off. We'll get that out, clean it up a little bit, so that way we can make sure it's nice and clean to the edge and stuff, and get her packed in there. So I've got the tape pulled off there, and what I did is I actually ran my finger around that, and I just packed it in all the way around it to get there. I'm not sure yet because I haven't decided. I might end up running just some color match caulk around that too, just to give it a little bit of safety net. Get into this and get wiping this stuff down. I'm using a new sponge. This is a haze breaker, and this is just a grout sponge, so I've never used that before. I'm going to give it a shot. Got water. I actually have about 3 dabs of Dawn soap in here. Seems to work really well on my other projects that I've had, so you don't want to overdo it with Dawn soap, but I have about, blop, blop, blop and done, and that's all I really want in it. So let's get started on this and see if we can't get it cleaned out. So let's start round 2 of getting this clean. And I'm going to use this side here first and see what it does. I think the only thing that I see here that I think I wish I would have maybe done differently in this is where it's split right there, is turning it the other direction and splitting it that way. It works, falls right through it, so it's not that big of a deal, but I don't know, I think it would have looked different that way, or maybe even splitting it 4 ways so that way it maybe made it more symmetric as far as the look of it and stuff. It is finished, all done. That haze sponge that I used on it took the haze right off of it. I was really impressed with it. So, yeah, we're done. We're ready to move on to the next step. Hopefully we can get that done tomorrow. Just depends on what I have. I've got an eye appointment set up, so that's going to take a little bit of my time tomorrow, but in the afternoon. But yeah, I'm uber impressed how it turned out. I've got a couple spots there that I'm not too happy about, but overall, I mean, when you're looking at it, it's really nice. So let's move on to the next project. All right, gang, that's it. That's all I got on this one. I was kind of hoping to put Durarock on the walls for this video to get started there. I think it's a good segue anyway into the walls because this took a lot, as you can tell. It's a lot longer video. I apologize. I really tried to cut this down as much as I could. I don't want you guys having to sit through 20-25 minutes worth of footage and stuff. So hopefully it wasn't too boring. Hopefully you took a lot away from it. I was actually having a lot of fun on this one with the tile and stuff. So yeah, like I said, I hope you took something away from it. All in all, I just want to say I really appreciate y'all watching and supporting the channel. It means a lot to me every time you guys take time out of your day to do that. So if you would, before you leave, make sure you smash that like button, and if you are new to the channel, if you would like, please subscribe. It'll keep you up to date with the ins and outs of the next video and stuff. So until then, everybody, hopefully spring is here. It is a beautiful day, and I'm going to enjoy the outside while I'm out here. Talk to y'all later.